it will take both the providers and it will see, it will compare both the menu items. Even if the menu item has different spellings or different whatever mistakes it has, compares the menu item. Then once the results comes out after the merger is complete, based on the result, it will tell, along with the result, it will match the best price from which provider. That will be tagged along with each of the data, and that will be fed again back to the customer end. So that's how we achieve the accuracy. Here, the GPT model, it has analyzed already millions of data sets. We have already trained this particular GPT model with most of the restaurant data, the cuisine data from the entire world. So we have already trained the entire model with that, so that it understands what human wants and how human can write a menu item and how they can make a mistake. So all this completely already trained to this particular model. It already knows how the human can make mistakes. So that is the custom GPT model we have inside the company. And second is using the OpenAI's GPT. The reason we are using OpenAI's GPT is we achieved around 60 to 70% of accuracy with our own custom GPT model. And that's the reason we went with OpenAI's GPT. The OpenAI's GPT has around billions of data trained to it, all over the world, the cuisines from all over the world, so that it can, even with a single letter mistake or a comma or a dot in a word, it can understand this is what this particular user is trying to talk, or this is what this particular data is coming from Zomato or coming from Swiggy, so that it can give 99% accurate. Mostly it will be correct. It will recently when we had a test for around hundreds of data set processing, giving out the results to the users, it achieved almost 100% accuracy without even a single mistake at any of the test. So that's how the accuracy comes out, and that's how we achieve the accuracy by training our custom GPT model and using the OpenAI's main GPT from all over the world. So that's how we achieve the accuracy.
Oh, super! It's a very wonderful. It's a needed and a needed one for the customers, because every time we have to go for Zomato and
Correct.
Swiggy. Hmm? Uh,
And
right.
also we are doing with the cab providing companies like Uber, Ola. So these guys.
Yeah. That's also another one problem. Right.
So that's the AI is really helpful in this particular place.
Yeah, great job. Great job you have done. Then in this, for this analysis and comparison, which algorithm or which technique you have used?
So we basically started. We planned to start with some algorithm initially, but since we plan to completely go with GPT models, we are not using any specific algorithms,
Okay.
any data structure algorithms here in our servers or systems. We completely went with the GPT model. So we are not using any specific algorithms in our application. So this reduces also the development time, and we can work on improving the experience for the users.
Then, great job, Sylvester. Then in this regarding, I'm having one doubt. Uh, then if we compare that Zomato and Swiggy, then is it if we are running a app, then is there any நம்மளுக்கு வந்து எத்திக்கல் இஷ்யூ ஒன்றும் வராதா? ரெண்டு பேரோட ஆப்பையும் நம்ம எடுத்துட்டு பண்ணும்போது நம்ம ஒரு சஜஷன்ஸ் கொடுக்கும்போது வெதர் தே வில் நாட் கிளைம் எனி இஷ்யூ.
Correct. So that's actually a very valid question. So before we are get started with this project, we actually started talking with the major corporations, Zomato, Swiggy. We even met with the Ola CEO in the meeting, and we get their approval, and they have provided with their sandbox APIs for now to test the application and do necessary steps and provide the results. Then, once we are completed with the implementation, they will provide us with the actual API and approved API and official API, so that there won't be any ethical problems will be coming up. And they are also very sure when we are talking with the CEO of the Swiggy, and he is telling that we are the one providing the good prices to the customers. So we are happy to do this. So that kind of things they are into.
Good. Okay, carry on.
So that's the app we are developing, and yeah, once the beta version is and the release version is ready, we'll release it for the beta users to test out how the AI responds to the I mean provides accurate results for the users. So this is basically, I just want to tell what is required for AI developer and how companies like mine and the AI companies are expecting from the students. So basically, most of the companies, if it comes to AI, the first thing we want is the Python or R or Julia. So these were three programming languages we expect and should be familiarized with the libraries and frameworks like TensorFlow, PyTorch, and Skitlearn. So these were the things mostly the AI companies expect, and uh, this TensorFlow and PyTorch based, I mean, they actually play a very important role in the healthcare, and most of the the candidates coming up right now, they are not taking this particular framework, so it's very important to getting very familiarized with these frameworks. And of course, the mathematical knowledge is very important. So these are things I would just want to let you know when it comes for the AI development. Yes. Yeah, as I said in the previous slide, so it's very important to familiarize with the deep learning frameworks like TensorFlow and PyTorch, and learning the neural networks, because most of the imaging solutions are completely powered with neural networks. So all the companies, the AI companies, were expecting this. So it's a much needed one when it comes to AI. Yeah. So these are slides I prepared so that we can have some kind of an interactive session. You guys can ask me any questions, even if it's related with how to become a AI developer or what is required for AI development and what companies are expecting here from the students. So anything can be asked to me, I can answer. So you guys can see my slide, right? So the prerequisites to become an AI developer. Let me know if you have any questions so I can answer.
Sylvester, is Julia is also important. So tell me about the Julia for our students.
Okay, so basically, um, so Julia is right now. I mean, till the traditional AI companies, they mostly expect only students. Trained with Python or R. So that's what mostly used. Right now, the healthcare companies are adapting to work with Julia. The reason they're going with Julia is the vast availability of the frameworks and libraries similar to Python, as well as they are being used in the GPT models. So since the GPT models are going very big and it's getting a lot of traction and it's being used by a lot of the companies and customers worldwide, it's pretty easy to build with Julia. And that's since companies are preferring Julia, not much the students should be much expertised in that particular programming language, but they can have a basic level of understanding with the Julia. But Python or it's very important, and the logical skills on Python should be very clear.
Okay.
Yeah, and most of the companies like the bigger AI companies, the ChatGPT, even Tesla, they're using Julia. The reason they're using Julia is um, the power, basically the parallel processing. So it can process a very huge amount of data in parallel process without even getting bottlenecked or the entire systems get jammed. So since it is mostly used in this kind of an automated vehicles, and if we need to get into companies like that, so this particular programming language is very important.
Yeah, students, you can ask queries if you have any doubts, or you can post in the chat box. Yes.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, hi.
Sir, how AI works in a company?
Sorry.
How AI works in a company, sir?
In a company, in the sense, any specific domain you're talking, specific answer in that.
Sir, specifically in Samsung phones, there is a specific they launch
Okay.
AI. So that like you tell something.
Yeah. So if you take, okay, let's come to for smartphones like you said, Samsung or something. So Samsung, have you guys seen uh, the AI prompt like Bixby or something? So when you talk something, it will automatically pick up the particular settings for you. You can ask it to call. You can ask it to take a screenshot. So previously, Bixby was launched much, I think, a couple of decades back. It's when Samsung was launched their very smaller phones. But at the time, it was not an AI. But right now, the Bixby implemented in the Samsung is an AI. The reason I'm telling it's an AI is it keeps on learning. It keeps on listening to you all the time. 24 bars when the phone is in your hands. It keeps on listening to you whatever you talk. So it will be recorded. It will be trained automatically to their servers. And based on that, and based on your voice input or anything, so it understands how you talk. First, it doesn't know how you talk. Then it will understand how you talk. Then, without even your knowledge, sometimes if you say a word, screenshot, it will automatically take the screenshot of your phone. So that's how the AI was very powerful in smartphones, and specifically the AI used in Samsung is very much powerful. It's very equal, similar to the one in the iPhone. So that's the one of the real-time use case of AI functionality in the smartphones. So I mean, this is something completely other than the Google's own AI.
Thank you, sir. Sir, how to start project in AI, sir?
So starting project in AI, so first of all, we should get familiarized with the basics of Python, not just leave the R or Julia. So you should have a basic understanding of Python, and then with the base frameworks or base libraries like TensorFlow. So once we have base understanding of these items, we can start creating a simple an application like a text to voice based yeah, an AI app or something, a simple prompt app. Like you will get your text and you'll get give it as a voice output. So just need to get started with very tiny applications like that because bigger applications require bigger data sets or it will not work properly. So the data sets are very important. Until we come to a point like that, we need to first set up a smaller application, a smaller script, a smaller code to work on it. And very importantly, before you are going into much bigger application, the mathematical and statistical knowledge is very important because you have to clearly define all the models, the logics inside models using the algebra or calculus all these steps are very important. And statistics play a very important role in uh, developing an prediction AI, which can predict all the future, the stock markets, trading, and etc. So to get started, as I said, familiarize with the skills and get started with a tiny application which can give at least a 90% of the accurate results. Then it's good to get started with a much bigger one or a much innovative one for any specific kind of problem in the real world.
Sir, you tell the basics. No, what are the basics for is Python?
Yeah, so basic in the sense first the Python programming. The Python programming is a mandatory one. We need to know how to completely program a simple script or a server-side script using Python. That's the basic one. Then we have to try using libraries like there's a library called um, there's a library called string similarity, which is in JavaScript. There's a similar library in Python. That needs to be understood first. I'm just telling it an example. That kind of library, smaller libraries in Python needs to be used and understand first. Where this particular library is used, what kind of solution can you build using this particular library. Then you will get an idea, okay, this kind of applications I can do. I can come up with some kind of idea for a solution. To get started, first the Python is the base. Base scripting. Create a simple script on the server-side scripting and take out the results. Then from the next step, start using the libraries. That's how it should be started.
Thank you, sir.
So, okay, I have a couple of questions in uh, the chat box. So the first one they have used, and the question is, can we also use the OpenAI API? No, actually the OpenAI API was free when they had launched initially, but right now we have to have a kind of subscription with them, and it is being charged based on the tokens we use. So right now the OpenAI API is not free. Only you can use the ChatGPT's base version for free, just to make text prompts. Yeah, so the next question is using the LLM models in web browsers. So basically, the LLM models are not exactly hosted in web browsers, they are hosted in the servers. And the LLM models are processed in the servers, and the data results were taken and given to the browser through the API gateway. That's how it functions basically. So none of the models comes to the client application. I mean the client end, which is the browser. Everything is completely on the index. The index will be hosted either on an AI processing machine or on a kind of an Elasticsearch indexer or on a separate servers like Redis, Redux, a lot of stuff like that. If that's any question, you can ask me, guys.
If